Development of a new global age of aviation. Cultivation of globally minded citizens and promotion of human and cultural exchanges. The realization of a more prosperous and peaceful society. JAL Foundation was founded in 1990 and is based on these concepts. It has continued to serve the public for the past 28 years. Ladies and gentlemen, it is our pleasure to share the highlights of our activities during the 2018 fiscal year. The JAL Scholarship Program, which was launched in 1975, invites college students from various corners of the world to Japan each year to cultivate relationships through workshops and cultural exchanges, as well as to assist in the development of leaders for the future. A total of 49 sessions have been held since its launch, and as many as 1,615 college students have participated from overseas. The theme of the 2018 JAL Scholarship Program was, "Let's think what we can do towards the next generation for achieving sustainable development goals." "25 scholars and a total of 29 Japanese students in 3 locations participated in the program.
10年、20年、30年、もしかしたら40年、50年、ずっとこの仲間は世界中でつながっていくと思います。
First, the scholars visited Munakata City and started with a program familiarization orientation and self-introduction so they could learn about each other.
これから
The Munakata City program was launched by visiting the famous Munakata Shrine, where scholars wished for a safe and fruitful 3-week program. At Uminomichi, Munakata-kan scholars learned the history of Munakata and the newly commended UNESCO World Heritage Sacred Island of Okinoshima and associated sites in the Munakata region. As a keynote speech, the unique location of Munakata and its cultural preservation, as well as the continuous activities toward the protection of the environment, were presented. Guided by the Nagasaki Kaientai students, scholars went through an international coastal cleanup and marine debris research activities at Satsuki no Matsubara. Scholars attended a panel discussion by fishermen and fishing ama divers, witnessed fish processing at Kane no Misaki Fish Center, and as a main event, scholars and Fukuoka Marine High School students created 6 bamboo fish reef take gyosho to help prevent sea desertification. Further, scholars interacted with local junior high school students by introducing their home countries. The Asia Forum in Ishikawa, with the cooperation of Ishikawa Prefecture, Kanazawa City, and Hakusan City, was held again this year as a joint program event. The Hakusan City program was initiated by visiting Shirayama Hime Shrine. Scholars challenged to create Japanese haiku poetry with guidance from the Hakusan Haiku Association.
夏の昼、みんなで拾った海のゴミという俳句です。
With the courtesy of Hakusan families, Scholars enjoyed a gorgeous weekend in beautiful nature. The keynote speech presented was entitled United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and Kanazawa Institute of Technology. There was a courtesy visit to the co-mayor of Hakusan City and the chairman of the Hakusan International Association. Scholars visited the gorge of Hakusan Tidori River and learned more about Geopark. They touched the traditional Oguchino Dekumawashi dolls and visited the Shiramina area from the SDGs perspective. At the end of the day, they visited Hakusan Roku campus of the Kanazawa Institute of Technology, which is helping prevent the depopulation of the mountain area. Japanese traditional experiences such as yukata, Japanese green tea ceremony, and playing koto were greatly enjoyed by scholars. There was a presentation of activities of the Ishikawa-Kanazawa biological region and a sustainable Japanese garden maintenance. By experiencing the 2030 SDGs card game, scholars learn how their activities will affect the economical, environmental, and social activities. Also, 3 presentations were made by SDG specialists in Kanazawa. Scholars visited companies which are active in SDGs and learned recycling.
My name is Kimani.
Jointly with the Japanese students, scholars went out for fieldwork in Ishikawa Prefecture. A group discussion was carried out with what they achieved in Ishikawa. The output from the fieldwork and the group discussion was presented at the open symposium of the Asia Forum in Ishikawa. After the symposium, the scholarship students joined the International Exchange Festival. The students performed in front of everyone and cultivated friendships with the locals. There were homestays with traditional Japanese families in Ishikawa. The last week was carried out in Tokyo. Scholars visited the JAL Sky Museum, the JAL Haneda Aircraft Hangar, and JAL Operation Control Center, and they learned operational workings. The keynote speech was titled Think Back from the Future by SDGs. Scholars were privileged to see the miracle 7 minutes of the cleaning of the Shinkansen Railway by Tessei Company. Kotonia Garden Shin Kawasaki was designed to help promote relationships between the elderly generation and the very young generation in the same town. At the closing seminar, scholars and Japanese students made a group discussion based on what they achieved through the fieldwork session and gathered those thoughts into a presentation which was shown at the open symposium. The final homestay was hosted by JAL's member families. They experienced the rather small houses of the Tokyo area and got to know each other, especially with the young children of the host families. To commemorate the 40th year of the Japan-China Peace and Friendship Treaty, and to strengthen the young generation's future relationship between China and Japan, the JAL Scholarship Program has newly started the China-Japan Interaction Program. Niigata Ikarashi Junior High School students visited Beijing Yutsai Junior High School and experienced an interactive schedule in Beijing, such as English classes, paper cutting, and Tai Chi. A joint orienteering excursion was held to foster friendship. On the last day, at the farewell party, students promised to see each other again, next time in Niigata. It is our wish that through haiku, children all over the world not only understand Japan and its culture, but also share their emotions and feelings. Also, we want children to cultivate international friendships through haiku. With that wish, JAL Foundation has been promoting the Haiku Project over many years. In 1964, when Tokyo hosted the Olympic Games, Japan Airlines held a haiku contest in the United States. The reason Japan Airlines held the haiku contest was to introduce Japanese culture overseas. Since its founding in 1990, JAL Foundation has been hosting the World Children's Haiku Contest every 2 years for children all over the world. More than 700,000 haiku poems have been submitted from 57 countries since the first contest. The winning haiku poems are then published in a book entitled Haiku by World Children. The 15th Haiku Contest was held in 2017 and 2018. The theme of the contest was Living Things. Through the Japan Division and the World Division contests, more than 25,000 wonderful haiku poems were submitted from 44 countries. Award ceremonies were held all over the world, and children learned the happiness in making haiku as well as international interaction and understanding. In the 15th contest, Bhutan, Bulgaria, Ecuador, Norway, Poland, and Sri Lanka were newly added, and award ceremonies were held accordingly in each respective country. All the winning poems were uploaded on the JAL Foundation website. Some selected haiku poems and artworks were published in Haiku by World Children Volume 15, Impressions of Living Things, in November 2018. They were also posted in JAL's electronic book Skymanga, the in-flight entertainment service on JAL's Boeing 787 on international routes. With 3 additional languages this year, How to Make Haiku is now published in 18 languages, which is now available on the JAL Foundation webpage. Because we want to expand the World Children's Haiku Contest, promote Japanese culture, and promote international exchanges, JAL Foundation sponsored Haiku Koshien in Matsuyama City, Ehime Prefecture, Kusamakura Haiku Contest in Kumamoto City, and the Japan Russo International Haiku Contest. In cooperation with the National Institute for Environmental Studies, the Meteorological Research Institute, JAMCO Corporation, and Japan Airlines, JAL Foundation has been participating in a project to monitor atmospheric concentrations of greenhouse gases with monitoring devices installed on commercial aircraft to obtain information. The reason for this is to understand more about global warming. Currently, CME, or Continuous Automatic CO2 Measuring Equipment, has been installed on a total of 8 Japan Airlines Boeing 777-200 aircraft and 2 new longer-range 777-300 aircraft. With this system, we have been able to gather more frequent, extensive, and reliable data. We realize that there is an affinity between this atmospheric observation project and number 13 climate action of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, the 17 SDGs, that were adopted at the United Nations Summit in September 2015. In December 2017, as a means to raise public awareness and promote the concept of SDGs, the logo of SDGs was painted on each of JAL's aircraft that have been used for this project, in addition to the existing contrail painting. In 2019, the project was awarded the first Japan Innovation Award of the Minister of the Environment. In order to obtain professional advice to make this project truly productive, JAL Foundation organized the Committee on Promoting the Earth Environment Observation by Scheduled Flights. The committee is made up of leading experts from academia, industry, and government. The committee meeting for FY 2018, which was the third year of the third term of the committee, was held on March 7, 2019. Environmental issues have been the main focus of many countries over the years. JAL Foundation will continue its efforts to stimulate people's interest toward the environment through more reliable observations, as well as explaining scientific results in an easier way for people to understand. With the aim of fostering young men and women who can think and act from a global perspective, JAL Foundation has been engaged in a program named Lecture for Globally Minded Citizens in cities around the world since 2003.
皆さんこんにちは。
The 25th lecture was held in Sapporo with the attendance of astronaut Takuya Onishi, entitled Life in the International Space Station.
まずはですね、先日の地震への対応に追われる中、今回のイベントの開催にあたってご尽力くださった人と思ったんですね。
With pictures and videos, Onishi-san talked about how he was when he was young and the road to becoming an astronaut. The cultural differences between the USA and Russia and those 115 days on the ISS were discussed in a humorous talk.
10月30日まで約115日間ですね、宇宙に滞在してまいりました。今日のお話のメインはその時の体験談になる。
宇宙飛行士になるためにはどんな気持ちが一番必要ですか？
はい、とてもいい質問ですね。
Even though it was right after the Iburi earthquake, as many as 450 audience members participated.
宇宙で見た風景とかの中で一番綺麗だったり印象に残ったものとかってありますか？
はい、いい質問ありがとうございます。いい質問ですよね。
A lot of questions were asked, but Onishi-san answered all of them.
衛星が飛んでてっていうのを常に見て
クリアされれば宇宙人っていると思いますか？
はい、いい質問ですね。宇宙人はいると思いますから、もう担当直入に言いますけど、いると思います。
The audience was touched by the lecture on how to make your dream become real and his impressive stories.
やってきた厳しい思いをしたっていうのは自分の中で自信にもなったし、本当に好きなことを将来やるために 今、本当はやりたくないなと思っていることでも頑張ってやることをちょっとでも、意識してもらえると、いいかなと思います。
Since 1994, JAL Foundation has conducted an annual study tour to airports overseas for junior high school students. This is part of events celebrating Japan's Aviation Day, September 20th. In FY 2018, after touring airport facilities at Narita International Airport, 6 junior high school students flew to Seattle, Phoenix, and Los Angeles, USA. As part of their study, they toured control towers, airports, and in-flight catering facilities in those cities. In Seattle, they visited Boeing Company's Everett facility and were treated to close-up views of Boeing's new 787 Dreamliner on an assembly line, and Japan Airlines Phoenix Flight Crew Training Center. In addition, they met and had deep cultural exchanges with local students. The students also learned about the various kinds of work at an airline company, from airline staff and cabin attendants at airport facilities and on board their flights. Through this study tour, students learned that many people are involved in operating aircraft safely, and that safety in aviation is supported by not only high-tech machinery and computer systems, but also by many skilled professionals working there. Other training programs sponsored by JAL Foundation include an internship program that provides work experience for international college students who are studying Japanese language and culture overseas. In FY 2018, we hosted one student from Beijing Foreign Studies University in China as a trainee. Through her work experience as a staff member at JAL Foundation, she deepened her understanding of Japanese customs and culture. Since 1990, we have hosted 38 foreign students in this program. By request from the East Japan Railway Culture Foundation, and as part of their fellowship program, JAL Foundation conducted study sessions on safety for young employees of railway companies in Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, Mongolia, Myanmar, and the Philippines. In coordination with Japan Airlines and its global network, JAL Foundation will continue its international exchange program and other public interest activities in order to foster globally minded citizens. We highly appreciate your continued support.